Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the video. So as you're all probably aware by now, the Xbox One X is a console which is 5 times as powerful as the Xbox One S. It also has a little bit more RAM, it has a lot more specs in every department, so therefore people would logically ask me the question of, Toycat, why do you still record Minecraft Xbox videos on your Xbox One S if you have an X around? And the simple answer to that question is the fact that for the Xbox One X to be more powerful in games, every single, game actually has to release an update, which means because Minecraft, despite being a Microsoft flagship title, has still not released its 4K update, still has not released its HDR update, and still is not Xbox One Enhanced. The theory is that it should be worse, or it should be the exact same in every single way, and therefore there's no difference yet. However, I wanted to test that theory in today's video because we're not entirely certain how that one works, so today I'm doing a fairly comprehensive FPS test of Minecraft on the Xbox One S versus Minecraft on the Xbox One X. Hopefully you'll all do enjoy it. You can like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel. Let us know you do like these sorts of technical comparisons. It's something I wanted to do when it first came out, but I was told there wouldn't be a difference. But again, the console has that extra 4 gigs of RAM, it has that extra 5 times clock speed, something in there, or 5 times teraflop output. There has to be something in there that changes some amount of lag, because Minecraft, when you run into certain issues, which I've deliberately filled my world with, so for instance, we've got mobs over there, when Minecraft runs into certain issues, it does drop some frames. You probably saw it happen just there, and you'll see the FPS counter, because we're running in beta, which means we can test today with absolute certainty, see 42.5 FPS, we can test today with absolute certainty if there is a difference or not, and yeah, we'll be doing the methodology by having the exact same settings, that is the max settings, which by the way, I'll show you that there's no extra video settings available. So here is Minecraft on the Xbox One S. As you can see, max render distance is 22 chunks. The max, particle render distance is 100. The max anti-aliasing goes up to 8. And if we have both these settings turned on at once, then we should run into this issue where, as you can see, 60 FPS isn't really available all the time because this is a lag-inducing world. Also, you'll notice the memory at the top of the screen just went up quite a bit, and that's because we're using a lot more resources to render all these chunks at that distance and to render them with that level of anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is a fairly complex technology, but basically it just makes things look that tiny bit smoother, especially at differences. So now we've turned everything up to max, let's go and let's do the test. This is something I'm looking forward to because I love this kind of like technical performance stuff because it's something that's not really known by anyone. I don't even like, the Microsoft stuff has been kind of vague on what happens when you play Xbox One X titles that haven't been updated. And yeah, in this particular case, as you can see, we're going to be doing like this exact same run, running around our world. And you can see, by the way, the FPS is dipping, but only like for a second and then going back up. However, the FPS counter you're seeing at the top next to Xbox One_S is actually the average over a few seconds. So you'll notice how that doesn't go up or down immediately when we see lag. And also it seems to like not necessarily match the exact gameplay experience at that time because it's not, again, the FPS experience right now. It's the FPS experience that's been, that's been averaged so that a dip like that doesn't drive it down to 0, then back up to 55. Instead, it just lowers it down to like, 52, for instance. So yeah, with that said, now we've done a full fly round of our old size world. We're going to now do the exact same, but we're going to be doing this in an Elytra. So the logic behind doing it this way is we're going to be going much faster. It creates a little bit more lag, and now that stuff has actually been loaded in, we can see how much trickier it is for it to reload in again while going at speed. And you can see the average frame rate while using a Elytra is actually more like 35 going around. I'd say it's probably going to increase back up to 50 something, but still the average frame rate is still much lower when you're really stressing it. And to do one last time a final test here, we're going to run back over to the wall of lag, or it used to be the wall of lag. We blew it up in a recent video, you might recall that. But the chests over here, which they were really getting in the way of the world. We're going to go over to these, which still cause some amount of lag with their serious number of chests. As you can see, the frame rate just dips immediately as we go near here. And yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to now go back through, and we're going to do that high-speed run, but across here, then across the mobs, then across the world, and we're going to see what we can do at the kind of lowest here. So yeah, this should give us an idea of like pretty average stuff combined to fairly stressful stuff, combined to the most stressful thing we can achieve with this world, again, using normal circumstances. Most people don't have 80 mobs and 100 chests, but some people do, and this is about the high-end situation for a lot of people anyway. So as you can see, 40 FPS, 35 was the lowest, and 40 was about the average when we were doing stressful stuff, with 55 being the average when we weren't. So now we have that in mind, we're going to switch over to the Xbox One. I'm going to show you the settings menu, and we're going to see how the difference is. Again, this is pre-patch. After a patch, this should be improved, and it will be worth using, but right now, this is what it will be like. So we're going to save and quit, and we're going to go to the Xbox One X. Okay, so now we're here on the Xbox One X, and just in case, it seems like this test is similar, because that's my assumption on the results here. Again, it would be interesting if it went higher or indeed went lower, like a part of me feels like it is based on the frame rate dips I've seen so far. But yeah, basically you can tell it's the Xbox One X, because if you check right below beta, it says Xbox One_X, and I don't know, either I faked that or it's a real thing. But let's just assume this is the Xbox One X for now. Again, this is pre-patch, and we're going to go to the video settings, and as you can see, unlike what most people expected, I assumed at launch they'd just allow higher options. But no, because it's not using any of the extra Xbox One X's power so far, as far as I'm aware, the same settings are available right here, where particle render distance, anti-aliasing, they're all stuck to where they were before, which means we can turn them up all the way, but only all the way to where they were before. Presumably after the update, they'll go to like, 30, 40 chunks and, like 16 times anti-aliasing, but right now it's the exact same stuff. And as you can see, already the game's dipped to 48.8 FPS, which is a little bit weird if you ask me, but we're going to now do our exact same test where we're going to fly around the world, or I think we fly sprinted. Also, by the way, this was an older version of the world without the pigs and cows there, so technically the frame rate should be higher by default because of that, but, again, it's only 80 pigs and cows, maybe, it should have a negligible difference on the overall frame rate. So as you can see, things are pretty much the same as we go around here, except the frame rate is, instead of consistently being, like higher towards the 60s, it seems like it mostly sticks around the 50 ballpark. We're on 57.7 right now, but I presume that's going to go down in a second because, yeah, for some reason, the console, despite having all the more power, isn't able to use any of it because they want the Xbox One X to backwards compatible run every game. They've made it so that it can't use any of this extra hardware available, which is kind of a shame, honestly, because it means that we have this crazy, it's the most powerful console of all time. I've said that before, and if you don't believe it, then now you know for sure. But it's the most powerful console of all time, but yet because of this, it has to run at the original Xbox One S settings, if not a little bit under. Again, that my current experience seems like it's about the same, but again, my other experiences, whenever I'm not doing the exact same test, seems that it feels lower. Maybe that's just because you expect more from an Xbox One X, but still, you can see the frame rate was a little bit better that second time round, though. Instead of being 35, it was more like 50 all the way around. And now for the final test, which is to go to the big wall of lag, we'll see how much that dips us to. Again, the last we saw before was 35, and that wasn't near the wall, but maybe we'll see with this one, this in particular case, we'll see that things go a little bit differently. So you can see how, okay, so 46 is the current frame rate. It'll dip a little bit lower, and then we're going to go all the way into the sky so that this doesn't render out. We're going to want to be below that. 31 is the lowest we've got so far, and we're going to fly this way now as fast as we can, and we're going to see if we go even below 31.5 perhaps. So yeah, basically the kind of, the gist of this run is that the Xbox One X has the identical performance to the Xbox One S. The numbers were different all over the place, but it seems like they went up and they went down, and because the, the pig and cow thing, it wasn't 100% the same test, it was just 99.9% the same test, which means that for the most part, what we can confirm from this is that Xbox One X games Xbox One X does not run Xbox One S games any better until they release an update. A lot of people believe it does, but that's because the placebo effect. If you think something is, then you'll see the frame rate dips as being, not there, and the frame rate increases as being better. But basically, as far as I can tell, this is the same, if not worse, if not marginally better. But it's, it's in the same ballpark of performance, and that's something that will change with the next, or whenever, the next update comes out that will improve that performance. But again, as of right now, there is no intention for that, and it's really weird in my opinion, because for Microsoft to succeed with the Xbox One X, they need to have lots of games which have Xbox One S improved. However, Minecraft, which is one of the flagship games, one of the games which a lot of people want to, have an Xbox One X for, because it has that extra power, and it means if you have a crazy complex world, like, again, I want to use this as soon as it will work, but, right now there is no benefit for it, and that's a really strange thing. But again, maybe that also shows, on the other hand, that, like, the autonomy within Mojang and, Minecraft within Microsoft is pretty high, even though Microsoft clearly wants it, the Mojang team won't, so maybe that means something good. You tell me, but for now, all we can conclude is that it is exactly the same. We've done the test and now we've proven it, and it's something I wanted to get out of the way so that we can compare this later down the line to when it does have a patch, and I can let you know that the Xbox One X is worth picking up if you want to do these crazy things in Minecraft. Anyway, for now, I hope you all enjoyed this test. I know the no result things isn't quite as interesting as if I said, like, wow, turns out it's 60 times more powerful, but I thought that was worth sharing regardless. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.